So we are back with the Nerd Paradise podcast with the same three guys that I'm pretty sure you're tired of hearing, but we shall go anyways.
You should be pretty familiar by now.
Yes, we'll keep names only towards the first part of the podcast.
Should already know them by now.
So, I would like to talk to you all now. This is Harvey, your concerned citizen, and I am
We need
quite
music for
concerned.
this. We need music for this. We'll figure it out.
We will insert music possibly at this point and remove our dialogue, but if you still hear this dialogue, it means we shall insert music in the second time we do this segment.
Oh, we're pretty lazy. So, getting on to the point of this. See, I have problems with people who don't know how to conduct themselves in public in various different ways.
Or as Sheldon would say, social conventions.
Yeah, some people
Yes,
are
but not to the
beyond
level of Sheldon, because if we were at that level, I doubt we would be as comfortable doing this.
Yeah. So, the first thing that I want to talk about... Now, this is not directly nerd-related. Pretty much none of this is going to be, but it is good... something good to keep in mind.
Well, it is nerd-related for the sole reason that
We're harping
nine
on
times out of 10, you won't see nerds doing this, but nerds reacting to it.
Okay. So, let me start off with 4 key words for my section here.
To the ladies.
To the ladies.
Not just ladies, unfortunately.
Oh, God!
Now,
What?
Tights are not pants.
Not pants.
Repeat it again, please.
Tights are not pants.
Praise the Lord!
I cannot stress this enough.
Hallelujah.
Being your average nerdy North American male, I suppose there's only so much I can really say on the fashion front, but there are things that upset me, and I see this a lot these days. It used to be that women would go around and they'd wear a really long shirt or sweater that came down just a bit below their ass, and then they'd wear tights underneath instead of wearing a shirt and a skirt.
And if they were maybe a bit more modest, maybe it was just above the knees, if you were lucky.
And even then, that is acceptable. That is a reasonable fashion trend. It's a way to wear these things. What I'm seeing now are girls that walk around and they have the shirt that ends at the waist, and then they have tights. And that's all.
Now we're talking about tights here, not yoga pants.
Yeah. Yoga pants,
I love yoga pants.
Yes.
I can't object to those.
I don't think any man will object to yoga pants.
If you're a man and you object to a woman...
straight man.
No, even gay men approve of women in yoga pants, because they'll say one of their lines,
Greatest gift to men everywhere.
Yeah. Yoga in itself had to be updated by a man. Not created, but probably updated by a man.
Yoga pants are pretty much a Play-Doh factory for butts, except in a good way.
But yes, back to tights.
Yes, so it's really a little bit jarring to see, actually.
Well, especially for the fact that most of the time these are teenage girls you're going to see.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because
people wonder why there's such a thing as jailbait. That's one of the reasons.
It's bad fashion, I gotta say, and it's really bad because it's not the same as wearing pants, because usually they're pretty sheer, you can see the underwear straight through, there's no forming or support or anything, no, it's not doing you any favors.
Well, the thing is, you gotta...
Those are usually under the skirt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's...
Well, you gotta realize that at least half of these girls are wearing thongs, so you're not gonna see them anyways, you're just gonna see the full figure of the ass.
Yeah, which is not something that anybody needs. You know, except
their milkshake does not bring the boys to the yard.
Your classmates and stuff, that's one thing, but I honestly would think this would be against
Actually,
school.
I even know a girl at my work that I honestly do not believe when she wears tights, she wears underwear.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Not that I'm staring, but just stuff that I hear around work. Okay? Let me iterate. Not that I'm staring, just stuff I've heard from other females. Okay, that's locker room stuff that they see, that they repeat. Okay, not looking.
Shit talk between female coworkers can tell you a lot.
Yes.
So
if you haven't guessed why I'm alliterating that, you should know why.
Okay. And moving away from this thing that I find atrocious, I have another little issue with people in public.
Well, going back to that, we also forgot to mention, of course, the people that wear these things that honestly shouldn't be wearing them at all. As in, people with certain figures that just
It's not very flattering.
Yeah.
Well,
even yoga pants wouldn't help these people.
To sum up this sentiment,
I
have a very distinct proverb that really applies, even though it's not specific. Spandex is a privilege, not a right.
We'll leave it at that, okay? Because we don't want to start offending certain people. Yeah. I'm sure we have already.
Love your bodies, respect your bodies. Please have concern for the
Pretty sure I'm going to get lots of hate mail from Chris Brown people.
Yeah, well, Chris Brown fans, please jump into a volcano. Okay? I'm sure if Chris Brown approves, you'll do it.
So, yeah.
You know what?
Okay.
Just for that, I am going to make it my mission to hack Chris Brown's Twitter account and post that.
Anyways, go on, Harv. Before he goes off again.
So moving away from cyber threats and all that.
It's not a threat.
Luckily, I didn't talk about Survivor, so let's go. Let's keep going.
I have a problem with people who do not know how to be pedestrians.
What does that mean?
Please tell us, Professor Harvey.
Okay, so a pedestrian is pretty much anybody going around in public that's not in a vehicle. People who use the sidewalks, all that. You're a pedestrian. You use the crosswalk, all that, the sidewalk, you're a pedestrian. But because...
Let me just add, living in Toronto, to explain the jaywalking laws here, as long as you are not directly impeding traffic, it is legal for you to jaywalk, but it is not necessarily accepted for you to jaywalk everywhere.
I'm not even going to get started on the roads. Because
there are certain places where it's fine, obviously. We can't have lights everywhere.
Just like your average road does have two ways of traffic, where one is going up north and one is going south, let's say, a sidewalk follows a very similar principle. You have people walking in two different directions. So
in an ideal world, I would say that sidewalk traffic, one side of the street should match the cars.
Well, it depends on where you're going.
Honestly, in an ideal world, what should happen is if the cars are going one direction, all foot traffic should go that same direction.
I personally don't agree with that, given that it can happen around shop fronts and things like that. I think it complicate matters.
Well, no, shop fronts, that's fine, but I'm talking about in areas where there's no shops, just stretches of land where they're clear, but there's high walking traffic, not just residential, but in Toronto we have a lot of these areas where there's no houses or anything like that, just clear areas. But
farmland.
No, not even farmland. Just within the city where there's no development, but it's still high foot traffic. But you're going to deal with people not knowing how to walk properly on the sidewalk, and in those places, I believe it should follow the traffic at least. Yeah. Downtown, do what cars do, and on the sidewalk.
I thought it was safer though if you went against the traffic.
No, actually, it's safer if you go with the traffic.
Because you'd see the cars when they're going to turn if you're going through like a street.
I believe it's safer going with the traffic just because it's more logical.
I think you have a certain bias about talking about traffic and safety, and I'm going to leave it at that, Matt.
Inside joke. Jokes for only us three.
We're not going to go into what my records are, okay?
Moving along.
We may come to it one day, but I'm just going to leave it at that. As much as people want to think, I am not immortal. There cannot be only one.
Oh, someone up there's trying to kill him off.
We'll have a crash course on this another time. So,
I hate you.
My issue
King
is
of puns.
People who your sidewalk when you're not strictly downtown, usually about 2.5 people wide. So you have a group of people walking in one direction. For a little while, it's just that. Then you have some other people going. These people will continue to walk shoulder to shoulder and keep going until the other person has to squeeze around so that they're not either pushed against the wall or onto the road. See, when I was young, I was taught how to walk around in public, especially in a group, because I had to go to a daycare, and they taught us when we're all walking in a line, double file, when there are other people walking the same way, you move over, so that each side, each direction that's being walked has their own space, so no one's being encumbered, no one's forced against a way they're not supposed to go or that they don't want to go that endangers their safety.
Well, like us, ourselves, a lot of the time we will walk, if we have a clear stretch of road, all three of us together. Yeah. But when we see incoming traffic,
you go behind.
We will go single file at the very least.
Double.
Yeah,
exactly. Don't walk around in a mob. It doesn't work.
Well, here's the thing: we have consideration. Other people don't.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't even get me started on the lack of consideration at Loblaws when it comes to us moving large pallets and these people that deliberately get in our way. I'm not talking about those that do not notice we're just carrying something around the corner and they don't see us having something. But like when we're going down the long stretch of the store, they see us with something heavy and they deliberately get in our way. That in itself is rude.
Yes, this is our...
Again, I've been to New York. It's worse there.
It is worse there, but that's one, because it's a more populous city. Two, it is in America, and I find that in America, I do believe politeness is not as emphasized as here in Canada.
Well,
no offense to Americans, but you will find that there's a reason why Canada has a stereotype of being polite.
It was much more it was much more polite in Florida than it was in
yes, but in Florida, at least half the population is over 60. Okay. They came from a different time. A simpler time. A time where drugs were easy to get.
I have a very good depiction of this. There's a comedian I like. His name's Jeremy Hotz, and he has a whole bit about this. And when an American is walking and bumps into another American, they'll say, "Hey, asshole, watch where you're going." Whereas a Canadian will get hit by someone walking by and say, "Oh, excuse me, I didn't see you there." And as they're walking away, we'll think, "What a fucking asshole!"
Now, see, we're pretty subtle with our.
We'll be polite to your face, but in our heads, we will loathe you to the day you die.
Yeah, I've got to say, it might not be true outside of Toronto, or possibly Ontario, or even just the major cities. But this whole view of Canadians being polite,
it's a front.
Yeah, it's a front or it's bullshit. There are a lot of people who are just really kind of sour and shitty.
But overall, if you really think about it, when compared to other English-speaking nations, we do come out more on top in international polls on these things.
Oh, we certainly do. It's just that it's not always genuine.
We even beat Britain most of the time, and that's really funny considering that the stereotypical British person is supposed to be outrageously polite.
Well,
Britain has...
Until you're called a twat, then that's where...
Or a slag.
Britain has its own social problems that I
we shall not go into.
Mm-hmm. I don't know enough about it to go on a tangent, so I'm not going to open my mouth there.
So yes, pedestrian traffic. Please be courteous of which way you are walking and of others on the sidewalk with you, so nobody goes onto the road and gets hit by a car.
You are not a frozen giant block of ice sliding down the sidewalk. You can move. Please move.
Okay.
So,
this is not Red Rover.
Moving right along to our next segment, which is another one of mine. And
don't worry, fans. My segment shall return next time, for I am still building on more material. You have heard bits and pieces of what I may be talking about this week. You may hear more.
He's already got a squirrel trapped up in a tree somewhere.
I do not. Okay? The dog scared away the squirrel.
So, last week we're bringing back again. Last time we did it. Last time we did Mark's Clinic. It was about Japanophiles. This week, it's something that annoys me.
Something that annoys all of us to a certain extent.
It's the word epic.
And how in these days it's become far more overused than it should ever be.
And my prescription will be something pretty interesting later on.
Let
We'll go on to the synopsis of it all.
Yeah, let me think of a good word from past times that has been similarly overused. Any ideas, guys?
Cool.
Awesome.
Tits.
Tits is never gonna die though.
No, but it detracts from the great thing that it's supposed to be.
Boobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even the word use of the fingers and brap.
Oh God.
I did that.
That's a different thing though. That's
gestures.
That's gestures and slang, which is different.
People who don't
than,
do that ironically make me shake my head.
So,
all right, moving on to epic.
Yes, epic. So you've heard it a lot in popular culture now, and it's
Popular culture, or if you're a bit more
where it started from was basically from the internet.
It got its big popularization and commonization. These are one of those, at least, is not a word, because in especially MMOs like World of Warcraft, the highest kind of item you can get, the most rare kind, is an epic item.
Yes, or an epic mount in certain games.
Yes, which makes sense because it's supposed to be this legendary piece of gear. But in some ways, it kind of trivializes
even in the game we have laid out in front of us, Munchkin, there's a level of epic in it.
Yes, because it's over the top and absolutely ridiculous. But moving away from Munchkin, it's the word epic gets its origin from being a great dramatic tale. If look at Homer's Odyssey, that was an epic poem because
The Iliad, epic poem,
long as hell, tons of drama and all these things going on.
The original meaning for epic means a long tale of drawn out. Well, not drawn out. That's not the right word, but just of
The Epic of Gilgamesh.
Yeah,
for one.
a long tale with tons of action, adventure, and plot that has been elevated to the level of just
basically a tremendous story.
yes.
In layman's terms, a tremendous story.
Yeah. We even have modern day epics, as you will. You could call The Lord of the Rings an epic. You could call the original Star Wars movies an epic.
Even the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean is an epic.
Not so much. They don't hold up as well as the other movies I've just mentioned.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies are good, but you're not going to be seeing people having as much of a following as they will with Star Wars and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. But yes, going on to this word.
Yeah, going on back to the overuse of the word.
Then people in the internet society, the internet community, kept using the word as a term of describing really, really good things.
Yeah.
I found $5 on the street. How fucking epic is that?
Yeah.
Exhibit A.
Or even just simple things like epic bro fest. I'm thinking, what?
Exhibit B.
Okay, it's a fist pound, okay?
Unless you're fist pounding and a bolt of lightning shines right around you as you do it. That shit's not epic.
Or, for the brony community, the only way you can call it an epic bro hoof if you get a rainbow.
Now, see,
It has to.
Now, at first when
More points if it's a rainbow thunderbolt.
At first when I heard of when the term epic was used around, when I first heard of it, it never really bothered me until the fact that every single person in the community kept saying it over and over, and people outside of the internet community started using it in real life. Which, by the way, gamer talk. Oh my god, gamer talk should not be outside the community.
Again, if you're using it genuinely, don't do it.
Yeah.
Within people of the community, if it's for shits and giggles, that's one thing.
Yeah,
Watch.
we'll use it ironically if we do ever use it.
Mm-hmm.
Watch. One day in the future, someone's gonna put on their resume, I have epic typewriting skills. I have no. Oh my god.
Also, Mark, did you just say typewriting?
Yes, typewriting.
So they're hipster.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But in that case, wouldn't they be using it ironically?
Okay, sorry, not typewriting. Typing skills.
That's a whole different loop there. I can't even tell.
I mean, if they're using a typewriter, they're obviously a hipster, but so that means they'd be using epic ironically. But then again, they're a hipster, so they might not know the
Before you
origin
blow
of the
your
word.
brains out, just stop there. I made a mistake. Stop there before you blow your brains out.
Sorry, you just got me on, what's the thing?
Loop.
A loop. An endless loop that would...
Yes.
Oh my god, that's how you defeat... That's how we should defeat the Borg if they ever invade.
Oh god. Okay, anyways.
So
Continuing.
Send them a hipster's resume.
Continuing on. Yes, you're going to see it in resumes and interviews. And that's not proper. Really, it isn't. And just the use of it right now is annoying. I mean, Harv, you know how annoying it is.
Yeah, I have my tagline should be I have problems. But it troubles me because there are some
Harvey,
great words out there.
we all have problems.
Yes.
Some of us more than others, I will admit.
It actually upsets me when I see a perfectly good word and it's being driven into the ground. Also, the fact that it is gamer talk that's being just completely trivialized completely boggles my mind.
Maybe it's the anti-conformist of me, like the non-conformist of me that thinks this. Maybe it's that's the why. That's why.
Actually, you know what, fellow fans? I'm going to put out a mission to you. Any time from now until you forget about this, you hear somebody use the word epic, ask them if they know where it originated from. You get a free pass if they can mention that it's from usually originally in Greek poetry. But if they do not guess gamer speak or the Greek poetry, smack them.
Also, another challenge for you guys. If you use epic in not the terms that we've been describing that they should be, it's like a swear jar. Put $1 in it. Pretty sure you're gonna accumulate maybe $50.
It'll teach you to respect the word. It's more than a $1 word.
We do not own copyright on the epic jar. For anyone that may have seen it, it is actually featured in the first episode of that show with what's her name? The show's The New Girl.
Oh, I never
it's
knew
actually
that.
in the first episode.
I never knew that.
One of the characters has a jar. He has to put in money for every time he uses the word epic.
Really? I never knew that.
Manly Guys.
I just thought of that
Yes.
first hand, but I never knew that. Okay.
He actually freely admits he got the idea from the pilot of that show.
Okay.
Anyways,
and
yeah.
Another illustration. This is where I would really draw the line, because no one makes a really good sandwich, takes a bite, and says, "Boom, headshot! That was an awesome parm." Gamer talk should be restricted to the community or what you're actually doing, because you make us all, the rest of us, look horrible.
Yes.
We don't talk like
Again,
that.
in outside world, use the English language.
Yes, please. I mean,
the internet community, sure, use it, but
also towards the internet community, people that make the rage comics. Anytime you make these rage comics and you use video game talk and you're trying to show it as the real world stuff, if you actually use it in the real world, go fuck yourself. Okay? Some rage comics can be fun. It can be worth a laugh. But if the ones that you claim are true stories and use these ridiculous amounts of dialogue, go fuck yourselves.
But yeah, I was talking to Harvey earlier about this, and this blew my. In logical speak, this blew my mind because of the fact that it's. I think the right word is oxymoron.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the moron.
The two words that are usually most common in the internet community, fail and epic, fused together, epic fail.
You will see this quite a lot on websites like Failblog, Failbook. You know, anything that's owned by the I Has Cheeseburger group.
No, really. I have
it's used quite a lot.
I have a problem with the word fail, but that's for another clinic.
No, I'll bring that up right now. Calling something a fail is stupid and grammatically incorrect.
Yes.
It is a failure. Fail is a verb.
Yes.
A verb.
You can fail. There is no fail. There is failure. Please understand, this is how the real world works. If you want people to take you seriously when you speak, you can say, "Oh my God,
you should watch this person." Yeah, you can say, "Oh my God, you must watch how this person failed."
Yes.
Or, "Oh my God, this is a fail."
Yeah. So
the act of failing is a fail.
The term epic fail comes from the internet, as far as I can tell. And it's what happens when somebody fails so bad and so hard, so far off base from what they're trying to do, that it becomes awesome. Because it's so far off base and so blown out of proportion and ridiculous that it becomes something good again. And then now people are abusing that, which is a whole different subculture of weird. But they'll use it just for something that really sucks.
In short, it is a failure that is so bad that it turns into a success.
Yes.
Any examples, Harvey?
The
The people at home will want an example.
A good example of an epic fail. Well, think of a lot of these really good, like, high success songs artists put out as a joke, and then they become their most well-known thing. Look at Beastie Boys and Soulja Boy. That's one thing.
Not so much.
Beastie Boys,
because he wasn't trying to be ironic. He just
Fight for Your Right to Party.
He was just being idiotic.
That was them completely making fun of the jock people, but it turned out to be a hit song. Look at Beck and Loser. That was another completely...
Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah.
What song?
I Wish I Had $1 Million.
Yeah, that's a good one. Hell, you could even consider the Rickroll itself to be an epic failure.
But even within itself, I have problems with it.
I mean, if it weren't for that, what's his name? Rick Astley. Rick Astley would not have been able to revive his career as he has. Honestly, if you get a chance, do listen to some of his new stuff. It's actually pretty good.
If you watch movies that are so terrible, but you love it because it is just a guilty pleasure for you.
No, Spaceballs, not so much. That's more of a cult following.
Okay.
I would think So Bad It's Good as The Room.
Yes.
The
Room by Tommy Wiseau has been covered by a lot of things.
There. We've already...
Yeah. Everyone that does reviews on the internet has probably done The Room. If it's ever playing in your hometown, I would suggest seeing it with a group of friends. Bring plastic utensils.
If it's so bad that you can make it a drinking game, it would be considered an epic fail, because I don't think a lot of movies actually set out to bomb so hard that they're entertaining.
Yes, not too many, and most that actually try to do it deliberately end up just being failures on their own.
Yeah, it doesn't cross the threshold.
Okay.
It just
you can't do this ironically. You have to actually try to legitimately make a good movie, accidentally fail, and then it gets a cult following.
Mm-hmm.
What is another example of a movie like that?
Ones that actually work out. Well, what's a terrible movie that's fun to watch?
Yeah,
it's hard to think of this when you want to.
Some could say Moulin Rouge as a guilty pleasure, but I don't think it's good. It's at that kind of level just because there are still people that like it legitimately. Mm-hmm. You need a movie that everybody will pan, but will still watch just for the laughs.
Like Daredevil.
There you go.
Daredevil you can make a decent drinking game out of, but there are actually people that enjoyed it.
But
which is kind of a scary thought. I'm not going to say it's the worst movie out there, but honestly, they didn't try very hard with the cast.
Yeah, Colin Farrell did well, but as the Bullseye character, he had a bullseye drawn on his forehead with what looked like a blue ink pen.
Well, actually, it was supposed to be etched into his skin, but the effects people just sucked.
Yeah, they got a ballpoint pen.
Face off.
No, that...
And it's Ben Affleck.
But, yeah.
Back to fail, though. Back to epic.
Well, just a quick tangent about that movie. Just be aware that it is one of the movies of a Marvel superhero made before Marvel itself had its movie production company.
Yes. But yes, back on epic. Anything else, guys? Because I think
I
said
think
my
we
bit.
covered most of it. I mean, I'm sorry we couldn't name more movies that count as epic failures.
But hey, anything you guys can think of, leave it in the comment box and just
But yeah,
share it with us.
so
Yes.
my prescription to this, to the people who use this word, maybe Matt can help me out here, because
Well, I will say that most people use it without proper knowledge, so I'm not going to
have a dictionary.
Yeah.
I'm
not going to automatically describe a bullet to the head, even though I'm tempted to. But the problem is we'd be left with very few people on the planet. So I think just expand your knowledge, learn about what you're using the word, and just don't be a dumbass.
I would like to prescribe a thesaurus. Learn some adjectives because not everything is epic because it's awesome.
But just remember,
Just
if
say
the
awesome.
word epic is in the thesaurus, the words that describe a story, you should not throw in as adjectives.
If you want to say something's awesome, just say awesome. What's wrong with awesome? What's wrong with good? What's wrong with nice? What's wrong with great?
Yeah.
Hell, even sweet is alright sometimes.
At this point, why not say, "Oh my god, that was so fucking Sonnet"?
Oh,
You're like, I mean, come on.
If you're going to do that, you need to do it. You need to do it as a British accent, though.
How much more ballad can you get?
oh my god.
We're gonna end this before Harvey goes into puns. So we'll be right back with our final segment.
Trilogy Bro Fist.
Please don't go away.